You're tuned into a mid-morning mystery with Adam and Mags. Every year around 9,000 people are reported missing in Ireland, and while the vast majority of these are found within the first few days, some disappearances remain a mystery. Today we'll be looking at the disappearance of Sandra Collins. On the night of Monday, December 4th, 2000, just hours after finding out that she was pregnant, Sandra Collins was last seen on Georgia Street in County Mayo. Just over 21 years have passed and the investigation into her disappearance remains open. Despite multiple appeals from her family, the remains of Sandra Collins have never been found. Mags, would you mind just taking us through some of the events leading up to her disappearance?
Sure, Adam, and thank you for having me on. Yes, the case of Sandra Collins is a harrowing case for many reasons, but Sandra Collins was a 28-year-old girl who was living with her aunt in Killala, County Mayo, and she disappeared, as you said, on the 4th of December 2000. At 6:30, Sandra left her aunt's house, and Sandra had been living with her aunt since she was 16 because she had rheumatoid arthritis. She said to her aunt at 6:30, "I'm going to the shop now to get half a pound of sausages for our tea." She said goodbye to her aunt. She went next door to the neighbour, asked him did he want anything from the shop. He told her what he wanted. At 7:45 p.m, she arrived at her local shop where she bought the groceries for her aunt and neighbour. Now, from 7:45 to 11:15 p.m, Sandra was not seen by anybody, but at 11:15 p.m, she showed up at the local takeaway, and she was described by staff in the takeaway as being in good spirits, good form. She ordered 2 bags of chips, and she left at around 11:20 from the chipper. And when she left the chipper that night, Sandra did not return home to her aunt's house. The alarm was raised pretty quick by the family. The Gardaí were contacted that night. An investigation started the next day, which would be the 5th of December.
So when the police get involved in these cases, particularly when it's an adult, not a child, there are obviously particular procedures that they have to follow. And in the majority of cases, they are able to find the missing person within 24 to 48 hours. After that period of time, the odds of the person being found alive drastically decrease. Mags, would you mind just talking a bit about the early investigation?
Basically, straight away from the 5th of December, her family became very active in the investigation because for them, this was very much out of character for Sandra just to disappear and not return to her aunt's house. It was something she never did before. She never stayed away a night from her aunt's house, only if she was visiting her parents in Crossmolina. So they went around, knocked on people's houses in Killala, the family did. They basically rang her friends. They got the Gardaí to print out posters. The Gardaí went around to houses. They questioned neighbours. The family and the Gardaí worked together. Posters were put up on poles of Sandra's picture, and if anybody had seen her or saw her, ring the Gardaí straight away. There was an information line given. There was media publicity. The local radio stations and the local papers were contacted. Several appeals were made by the family, the Gardaí, and were made in several forms just basically to get Sandra's name out there and to appeal to Sandra, because at the time I believe maybe the Gardaí and especially the family just thought that maybe for some reason she went missing, that she decided she needed to go missing. They did not believe anything sinister had happened to her within those 48, 72 hours of investigations. And, even weeks and months after, they didn't believe that Sandra had got into any trouble or something sinister had happened to Sandra. But 5 days after she went missing, on the 9th of December, Sandra Collins's fleece and the sausages were found on the pier in Killala. And, of course, the family were happy in one sense that a lead was found, but straight away Gardaí started investigating whether Sandra had took her own life, because the clothes were found, her fleece was found near the pier of Killala, and the groceries she bought were found accompanied with her fleece. So it really opened a new line of investigation. There was new avenues the Gardaí had that they hadn't before they found the fleece.
Yeah, I think up until that point at least, All hopes were really that she was just gone, she had disappeared and would maybe be found again. And it was at that point where they really started thinking that maybe something worse had happened. But she had one of the sort of supporting avenues that pointed towards maybe her taking her own life was just the struggles that she was going through, because at the time of her disappearance, obviously she had just found out that she was pregnant. So they had to take her mental health into consideration.